Hi everyone, Erín Moure here. I'm just going to read you a poem from Best Canadian Poetry 2020, just out from Biblioasis and edited by the marvelous Alberta Métis poet Marilyn Dumont. I'm very honored to have a poem in the book with the great companions that she's edited. My poem is called Odiama, and it's I wrote it after reading C.D. Wright's The Obscure Lives of Poets. When I woke up that day, I was my grandmother, her long brown hair falling to her shoulders, the day she had it cut, and after that wore pin curls. Her eyes of the hill and farmyard. She was a lady of Ukraine. Her father had a cow. Her husband was a blacksmith's apprentice. Already one step to the herb of the future, where he made not horses, shoes, or hasps for doors, but shells for American cash registers and pigs at River Furnace for American steel. The herb of the future, already one step towards the herb of the internet, where every person has their own cash register and river on fire and their own passé composé and their own Jianku. Her skin, my grandmother's skin and steadfast gaze that was the eyes of that skin. And now I have this skin, I must adopt this look too. I am a lady of Ukraine, and don't you forget it. Solitary as the step of a cow in the mud of a farmyard in the lee of a hill in Ukraine, where the sun only hits later in the day, and so the hoof print, damn it, just stays there. My grandmother is so long dead, this entire torque is useless. I can't call it a poem, so I call it a torque. To hell with you. My grandmother would never have said that. She wished damnation's torment on no one, even an enemy. For her enemies, she was just sad. But I can't be sad for my torque, only maybe angry a bit. For me, it is not yet time, I do not think, for pin curls, whatever. Not even a rosary, not even a wooden bench, not even a pump for water in the lean-to of my first Western home. Suddenly I realize it is me, the herb of the future. A woman's body hurtled forward out of the step of the cow by my grandmother long ago. Right past my mother when she wasn't looking. Right past the pigs and cash registers of her burning husband, right across the Cuyahoga River, stunk with industry, into the high birches of the Dunsey and bushes of berries, harboring forever the face, the texture of her face, a skin that finally, after an apprenticeship to voyages and husband and the ocean of stars over Ukraine, one line at a time, having arrived at my face, learned speaking. Erín Moure, Glascott, Ontario, Canada, meridian 80 degrees, 46 minutes, 40 seconds west. Came out with her little arms windmilling through the waiting people, and once past them quietly lifted the latch up and went outside, light blinding, and sat beneath a tree. Thank you.